Ah, there you are. Yes, please come in. I wanted to speak to you. Please make yourself comfortable. This is not a disciplinary meeting, in the slightest. Just the opposite, in fact. There are some promising matters which I would like to discuss with you. So, do relax, would you? If you get tense, I might get tense, and then this would be far less pleasant than I intended. And I would very much like things to be pleasant between us. So, anyway, how are you faring? Very good, very good. You've settled in quite nicely. Yes, I agree. We all do, in fact. You've integrated extremely well, and you're performing even better than expected. You do very well with the children. They're quite receptive to your lessons, and they are achieving benchmarks far sooner than we anticipated, thanks to your guidance. Yes, well, I am glad to hear that you enjoy the role so much. You do seem to have a natural disposition for it. Yes, not many people know of the orphanage we facilitate here. We feared that people might become wearisome should they catch wind of it, and we don't wish to alarm anyone. As you know, we carry on the teachings of Byrgenwerth, the practices and the goals. It is our desire to further our understanding through study, intellect, meditation, research, experimentation, the like. You know how it was. We still hold very fast to those truths and to those beliefs. As such, we also believe that everyone has the capacity for knowledge, the thirst for learning. They have but to taste it. These children were discarded by their families, their communities. They had nowhere else to go. They very well might have perished on the streets of Yharnam, neglected, hungry, cold. It is not a fate any creature should endure. So we have taken them in, housed them, clothed them, fed them, and we teach them. We only ask that they learn. It is our cumulative belief that children's minds are so malleable. We can shape them into any disposition we'd like. And so we have chosen to shape them with intellect, teaching the ways of the cosmos, exposing them to the understandings we have, creating an environment of learning, much like the college, only composed of younger individuals. How old were you when you came into the college? Many of us were. But imagine, should we have all been exposed to such an education from the very beginning? What could that have done for us? How much further along would we be? To be exposed to the hidden secrets of the world, to dive into the cosmic research of things unseen. Should we have been lost in study from such a young age, when our minds were not yet steeped in only the physical reality our meager senses could perceive? Well, I dare say that we'd be able to see far more than we do now. But rather than mourn the loss of sight, we take from our experiences and use them to adapt our plans. So, therefore, the orphanage was founded, where children are exposed to the celestial and encouraged to pursue their curiosity. Some children come to us as young as a still suckling babe, but the evidence is irrefutable. It is making a difference. When comparing their understanding, their insight to their peers not exposed to subjects of study, they show remarkable advancements. They are quick to learn, and in no small part this has been thanks to you. We have had other professors, lecturers. We have even performed them ourselves. And while a combined teaching effort is crucial to their development, you have truly made a tangible and measured mark on their intellect. It has done wonders for them, and by extension, for us. You have proven yourself more than capable and more than talented and intelligent. Therefore, we would like to further bring you into the fold. Surely you must understand that this is not the only thing we do here, providing education. We ourselves still carry on the work, the experimentation, the goal of ascending to greater status. We would like to bring you on board with these tasks, keep you informed and get your input. We believe that you could provide incredible insight on the matters we are exploring, and after watching you, understanding how you work, and understanding what you prioritize, what you know, we do feel that it is time for this to happen. We very much hope that you will accept our invitation. Once again, please do make no mistake. These are very important matters, and very well guarded at that. We can have no interference. We are making great strides, and we would not have been able to do so back at the college, shackled to certain ethical restraints. But whatever path necessary to reach the end that is ascension into greatness is justified and worth it. I assure you. You must feel similarly. As I understand, you were invited to study with Mikolosh and his so-called school. You rejected them in favor of us, meaning you must intrinsically value our work. At the very least, prioritize it over other avenues, yes? I thought that was perhaps the case, especially considering how you left Byrgenwerth and yet quickly jumped at the chance to continue its work outside of the college. I believe you are of the same mind we are. However, I respect your autonomy as a scholar, and would put forth the question, do you wish to join the fold? You will be welcomed with open arms, of course, should you agree. If not, you are currently providing a very necessary part of the choir. In educating the orphans, and we will allow you to continue to do so until such time as you would change your mind and finally come to the conclusion you would prefer to join us on our other endeavors. So, what shall it be? Would you join us, or would you not? Ah, very good. I had a feeling that you would be wanting to join us. At the very least, you would be curious enough to hear us out. And I think that once you hear the details, well, you will be wanting to partake as well. I've been very fondly awaiting this day, I must confess. I've been very eager to show you everything and explore your contributions. Now, as I've said, we are carrying on the work we were doing at Byrgenwerth. However, some things that we proposed were turned down, for a few reasons, mainly concerns over ethics. Even though we agreed to experiment only on ourselves if necessary, we were ready to make that commitment, that sacrifice, even if it came to it. But we were rejected. As you can imagine, it was devastating. Should not the college be the one to encourage our experiments, our theories? After all, were we not in battle, on the front lines, fighting for the benefit of humanity? We would do anything to further that goal to ascension. And we thought Master Willem was of similar mind. But as you can see, we are no longer with the college. Lawrence agreed with us, with our ideals and our perceptions on the matter. He vowed that as long as we assisted him in establishing his healing church, we would have access to the Great One and to any other resources necessary to conduct our experiment. We would be free to pursue our theories without delay or interference, and thus we have. Although we did have many disagreements with the headmaster, there is one thing that we do very much align with. Master Willem always spoke of needing more eyes to see. Eyes on the inside, to look into our minds. It should allow us to see the unseen. But for all our work, all our insight, the Great Ones just exist on such a higher level than we do. We need more eyes than we have. More eyes than we could form ourselves without assistance. This is why we are teaching the orphans. Why we are exposing them to the celestial wonders. A child's mind is formless, ready to take shape, waiting to be molded properly. And so we are molding it, shaping it, forming it to reflect wisdom that we know of the Great Ones. And it is working. The children develop insight rapidly. We were optimistic about the outcomes, but they were far more than we'd even hoped for. And with you having been teaching them as well, has been more than simply a success. It's been astounding. We are able to grow and cultivate insight on the minds of these children, like farmers in a field of blooming flowers. Now, our next step is figuring out how to transplant that insight from one mind to another. It will be a difficult feat, and so far we have not been entirely lucky. But we are getting closer every day, and with you assisting us, we feel that you would bring much needed and welcomed insight of your own to our experiments. Considering how well you have been able to cultivate the insight, we do feel that you have such a natural disposition to it, and therefore hypothesize that you might be able to see a path for transplant that we have not considered or been able to produce so far. Right now we are attempting to transplant the insight from one child's mind to another, with the eventual goal, of course, being transplanting the insight they gain onto our own minds. We recognize that this is a difficult path, and it takes much strength and dedication to commit to it. But it is a necessary thing. If this allows us to gain the insight, to learn to better communicate with the cosmos and ascend to our next place in evolution, then it will all have been worth it. These children are giving their lives for a grander purpose. They would have perished on the streets, starving, withering, suffering. But we have given them a home. We have given them shelter and food and care, and we have given them purpose. These forgotten children, cast out by humanity, will be the very thing that saves them. And none shall forget their sacrifice. All will know what they gave them. It is a hard price to pay, but in the grand scheme of things, such a small one. Would you not give your life if it meant all of humanity got to move forward in evolution? Got to become one with the great ones, on their level of understanding and being? Of course you would. We all would. And some of us will, before the struggle is over, I am sure. We will bear this burden for the benefit of all. We are not restrained here. We are finally free, unshackled. We can truly pursue understanding here. And that is the real blessing the Great Ones gave us. Not the blood, but this freedom to discover, to explore, to learn. Yes, this was the gift. And now we are extending it to you. And you have accepted, because surely you know within yourself that this is the right path to take. You chose it, and it is a glorious day. I am very excited to see what you will bring to us, what you will offer us what you might offer me. I very much admire you, and I think this could be the start of something quite grand. Don't you? Ah, there you are. Still tied to that desk, I see. Have you even moved since I last saw you? I thought not. That's all right. Far be it from me to interrupt your valuable research. In fact, I've brought you something warm to drink. Go ahead. We've moved everything from the lower levels and sealed off the gateways. A precaution against the scourge. They don't really venture up this way very much, but we will prevent the beasts from making any further advances, should they happen to wander this way. It seems there is hardly anyone left who hasn't turned. The church is abandoned. We should have seen this coming. Master Willem may not have been right on all things, but on this he certainly was. It is good that we so strictly regulated any kind of blood administration here within the choir. It has left us mostly unaffected. A shame, really, that such brilliance would be lost on the beasts. But if they could not see where they needed to align themselves, perhaps they were not cut out to be called for these higher purposes. They should have prepared better, if only Lawrence wasn't so bent on fulfilling his own ego. He lost his sight long ago, I'm afraid. To squander the opportunities afforded to him by the great ones. Pathetic. Meanwhile, we have kept true. We have kept course. And we are rewarded for it. As you know, we never left Byrgenwerth because we believed in Lawrence or the blood. We never strayed from our original purpose we cultivated in the college. We only left because the college sought to restrict us from our research. They would put shackles on us. Hypocrites. To dare claim that they encourage and support avenues of intellect that would further ascension and then deny the clearest paths to that goal. We are the purest sect the college has ever birthed, and that is why we will prevail. That's why we have prevailed. Locking the doors and finally cutting ourselves off from the outside proved very fruitful. Without the distraction of the beasts, we were able to maintain focus to continue our work, which has been so very promising. We've come so far, achieved so much. If only Master Willem could see us now. But he chose to shut his eyes to the true path long ago. But he will not be able to close his eyes to the resulting greatness that we will show everyone, I assure you. And once we reach that ascension, we can begin to deal with the horrible mess that Lawrence created. The beasts, the blood. Very difficult to elevate humanity when most of them have turned into slobbering, snarling creatures, and the rest are teetering on the verge of complete mental and physical decimation. But with aggregated insight, it will not be difficult for us to see a clear path to address the issue. It's but a minor delay to our goal, honestly. So long as we keep ourselves up here and them down there, it really matters not. It is not an urgent priority. Is that your autopsy paperwork? These numbers look very good. Even with the margin of error, transposing this amount of insight could nearly triple her own. This is really fantastic. You were able to collect this much. Oh, amazing. Though I shouldn't be surprised. You always do deliver on everything you touch, constantly and consistently exceeding expectations. You're truly a marvel. With your work, we have been able to see our studies and our dreams come into fruition. With the help of your research, we will soon be able to start transposing the insight onto ourselves. It's so very exciting to see the things you've worked so hard towards finally unfolding tangibly before you. Is it not? Oh, you're being far too modest. Come now, there is no reason for that. We all recognize what you've given us, what you've given the cause. Your contributions are not at all to be understated. You have always gone above and beyond in your position. To be honest, you've contributed quite a deal more than a few others. Though far be it from me to say any names. No, honestly, please do accept the standard of regard in which we all hold you. Though everyone may have disagreements or differing opinions from time to time, it has always been entirely agreed upon by us all that you have been one of our strongest scholars. We all very much appreciate and respect that which you've given us. You do not need to be so hesitant to accept the praise. Perhaps there is still doubt upon your conscience. Guilt, even, perhaps. You are always rather sensitive to these matters, despite the constant reassurance that you are, in fact, doing the right thing, the best thing for humanity. War takes a toll on the mentality. Make no mistake, we are in a war for the future of humanity. No matter how you rage against our fate, you're always the strongest proponent of it. There is never hesitation in your work or research, despite despite these moral misgivings you allude to having. I do not know if it comes from a place where you regard yourself as more elevated than the rest of us in that matter. But you'll do well to remember that you are not. The others have no ethical hang-ups and still do not produce work nearly as valuable and detailed as your own. I believe you just need to learn how to admit to yourself what you are, and what you've done, and what you will continue to do. And remember why it is you do it. You know that it is worth it. You know that our purpose is righteous and true, and the means will always justify the ends. Though your words may be hesitant, your actions never are, and that is far more important. You are a brilliant mind, a brilliant scholar, and we would not have come this far without you, without your aid. We all revere you, and we all have decided that it would be fitting to make you this offer. As a sign of our gratitude and appreciation, we will be conducting the transplants onto our own minds. It is a magnificent feat. It is the moment all of our work has been for. And we would like to welcome you to be the first to receive the additional insight, should you so choose. We offer this as a sign of respect and honor for your contributions. What say you? How are things moving along? Oh, very good. You know, it could have been you, but I understand. You've been meticulous about everything you've done until now. I suppose it only makes sense that you would want to oversee the first operation as well. I certainly cannot fault you for that. No one could. This is an exciting time for us. This moment. This very moment. It is everything that we have been working for. And it's finally here. Let us witness it. Are we ready to begin? Very good. Then proceed. What was that? The beasts. They've breached the tower. No, don't stop. Keep going. Do whatever you can to hold them off. This operation must not fail. We have to. Stop. What are you doing out here? The night of a hunt and not a hunter. Turn around real slow. That's it. Nice and easy. You. It's you. After all these years, you're still alive? Well, not for much longer, I'm afraid, if we don't get you off these streets. Come, follow me. Oh, my friend, it's so good to see you. Please, sit. You look absolutely rattled. Please sit. You're all right. The incense will hold them off, and this area of town isn't too terribly overrun. What? What happened to you? It's been so long since I've seen you. I thought you dead years ago. A couple years. Friend, it's been more than a couple years. It's been quite a few of them, in fact. Have you been in the tower this whole time? How could... Never mind. It wouldn't bother to explain it. Things make less and less sense every night. Well, no one was even sure the choir was still active. Lawrence forbid anyone from going near that place. And it wasn't worth our efforts. So, Why are you here now? I see. I guess eventually the beasts will always find their way in. How much do you know of what's even happened? Yes, the scourge. The blood began changing people. It all happened so quickly, turning them into beasts, into monsters. We tried to contain it, but there was never any hope of that. The church broke apart. Different sects were developed in order to deal with the scourge, though hardly any of them remain. There are few hunters left even. Our numbers dwindle by the night, be it loss of life or loss of... Yes, I had to. I had no choice but to become a hunter. It was demanded, and with the beasts crawling the streets, my friend, so much has changed. But it is very good to see you again. I honestly long thought you dead. It is a gift to see you alive. I am glad you were spared the worst of it. But I'm afraid you can be spared no longer. I've heard things about the choir. Rumors were always circling them. They were so secretive, so selective. But some of the rumors, some of the things we've heard crawling down those towers. The children would come into the church for healing, and less of them would walk out. I have to know. Is it true? The things they've said go on in that place. So then, it was all true. Not only that, but that's more fearsome than we even realized. I would like to say that it shocks me, that I couldn't fathom it to be true, that I couldn't ever possibly believe you, believe that you would have done these things. But I know you're telling me the truth. I can see it in your eyes. I can see a lot of pain. At least you still have enough humanity left within you to feel remorseful. My friend, neither of us are who we used to be. We've all done things, horrible things. At first we did them because we thought they were justified. We thought they were necessary, that we had to, that there was no other choice. At the time there may not have been, but the things we did when the scourge broke out, we were desperate to contain it, by any means necessary. We burned entire districts to the ground, fires raging through the night. It was a massacre, just over the fear of infection. Men, women, children, burned and gutted. I still hear the babies wailing. The screams never stopped. And that wasn't the end of it. That wasn't the worst of it. The way they suffered. The way some enjoyed it. The way they'd laugh. At least at first, in the beginning, we could say that there was a cause for the horrid things we did. We could say there was a reason for the acts we committed. But then there was no reason. And there were still acts. Now there are so few left at all. Everything has crumbled and fallen apart. To be honest, I don't know why I even still hunt. The beasts have won. There is no defeating them, no eradicating them. And even if there was, if we could rid Yharnam of them entirely, there's no one left to live in it. Just a handful of people hiding like rats in any hole they can squeeze into until sunrise. But there will never truly be any escape. Not even death has mercy now. So yes, I believe you. I believe you did horrible things. I believe that the friend I once knew, once loved, is capable of such evil. Because we all are. I am. We can't change what's already done. All I know, certainly now, is that despite everything, I am so happy to see you. Seeing you, even in this state, brings me a comfort I long thought extinguished within me. But it also gives me great sadness. Perhaps I imagined you dead because I knew it would be a kinder fate than what you'd have otherwise, what you have now. I cannot tell you that. What you decide to do now is entirely up to you. Though I must confess, your options are limited. If you can leave Yharnam, you should. But it won't be easy. None will accept you outside our borders. The scourge is spread through the entire land. The forests, the shores, below the streets or above them. No route you will find to be safe. The incense will keep them at bay. For now, stay locked inside and stay quiet. Keep the incense lit. I must depart from you. It was good to see you alive, old friend. The hunt is not over, and I am a hunter. I must return to it. Do not follow me. It is too dangerous on the streets for you. I cannot guarantee your safety. I don't know. I don't know if I'll see you again. I don't know much of anything anymore. Hopes are just distractions I cannot afford. Yet, I selfishly hope that I will see you again. Goodbye, old friend. Master Willem was right. We should have feared it.